I do believe we are live, so I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again, for sharing another moment, for showing up for fun, hopefully. I do hope so. I do try to make these streams as fun as possible. And I'm going to try and have fun as much as possible in this stream today. I look forward to having some fun with you friends. Let me see if I can get myself connected. I should probably drop the volume, otherwise I'm going to hear myself speak. Maybe I'll send this a little bit back actually. Uh, that level? Level enough. Joy Vive and Brother Ryan and Shannon and Nana too. So nice having you friends here with me. Eternal blessings to you. Mm. Is it still working? Do tell me if the stream is actually working on your side. Okay. No, it seems it's it seems it's fine. For some reason it seems like I'm in one of those mind spaces where I don't know what the hell's going on again. I had a whole thought about this yesterday actually with yesterday's stream about competing with ourselves. And specifically how one of the things that kind of limit me is the amount of energy we can share in any given moment, right? Like sometimes we have a certain amount of momentum, and then we can bring that momentum into stream. And I do try to do that as much as possible. Works fine. Great. Thank you for letting me know. I do try to do that. But sometimes I don't have that momentum, you know, for some sort of reason. Maybe there was an experience that took energy instead of gave me energy. Maybe I'm a little bit more in a contemplative state. And then I thought to myself that we could potentially just like spend some time in silence, right? That I don't have to be competing with myself in this aspect of seeing more things, that I could in fact compete with myself in saying less. Ooh, man, this wind is so nice. It's been pretty hot today. Beautiful title. Beautiful you. Thank you, Natalie, for joining me. So much love already being sent. Did I miss anybody? Sam is here too. Love you, Sam. Thank you for joining us, friends. Yeah, right. And I feel like the reason I'm talking about silence specifically is because I feel like that can also be fun. I spent some time writing a script again, which I will be filming soon. I have to. It's in my diary that I have to film at least one video this week. So tomorrow is the end of the week. Technically today, right? But we'll give myself some leeway. I spent some time writing the script, and it's going to be a forgiveness meditation. And I was thinking to myself, again from this perspective of competition, right? Competing with algorithms, competing for attention. And I was just thinking to myself how the way that I usually use the internet is very noisy, right? In so many words, like I'm constantly hopping from one thing to another, exposing myself to information. That there very rarely is a moment that I get to just be quiet, right? To be at peace, to be calm, and I would like to create more of that. But I don't know if that is something that we want, right? Do we want quietness these days? I've been doing these abundance meditations as well with Deepak Chopra. And one of the things that he mentions is that pure consciousness resides in between thoughts, right? That quietness. And it's, something we've shared many times on the stream as well. The pure consciousness that you are beyond your thoughts, beyond your body, beyond your perception of what your life is supposed to be. And that from that pure consciousness, everything, right? So I don't know if it's going to be that way but maybe we'll start integrating a little bit more meditation at the start of stream. And I can pretty much guarantee that if we spend like a few moments of silence in these streams, I'm gonna come out of it loud, talking, right? Because I was gonna experience a bunch of things in that silence as well. So much blessings, so much love is being shared already. Connor is here too. Love you, dude. Bless you, friend. So much beautiful energy already here, right? Natalie and Tunes, what's up? I have to go and help host a talk soon, but I wanted to just give a stop by. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for giving me the talk as well. Please do facilitate that growth in humanity, right? Having conversations is the way that we have pretty much built everything. I believe at least, right? We had to have conversations before we could build the things we have right now, right? How many conversations that are happening simultaneously right now all over the world. Yesterday, that was the thing I meditated on, conversation. And I was thinking to myself, damn, there are billions of conversations happening right now, simultaneously, different topics. And I was stripping out about synchronicity, thinking to myself, how many people are having the same conversation, right? In different languages, from different perspectives. How many people are touching on the exact same topic but have a completely different understanding? Mm. Is that a shroom? I see. Sending you love. End of the week. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Y'all count the days differently in essay? No. I got my tablet on Wednesday, I think. Right? I think so. I think so. So that's when I did my first week entry. So I do like quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. Daily, I obviously do every day. Weekly, you won't guess. I do weekly. So I started last Wednesday. So tomorrow is the end of that week for me. Oh, and I'm kind of like tripping out about today's title as well because I just mentioned how a part of me just wants to get it done, right? I'm not doing it necessarily because it's fun, because I so very viscerally enjoy doing it, but I do want to do it just to get it done, kind of like from in the words of Brother Ryan, at least he's in my head right now, Rajasic, right? This energy of I need to do the thing. It needs to be done, right? And I like having fun. These streams, spending time with you friends like this is fun to me. Making my art, I love that. Giving yoga, so fun. I love it. Filming a video. Mm. It's not that it's not fun to me. It's just, it's so awkward. It's so, I trip myself out about, I don't know if it's expectations, uh, perception. Maybe it's more perception that I trip myself out about than anything. The fact that I have to go and see myself, right? And I did that today. I spent some time watching the ego stream that we did 2 days ago, and I didn't mind it, to be honest. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it felt okay. I was like, huh, I don't hate this. I don't feel like I want to shrink into a small little bowl and disappear. In fact, I was kind of like, yes, I like myself. For a second, I had it for a second. I was like, huh, that's kind of nice. And it just brought back this understanding in me that I really I really do like doing things that are fun. And it's difficult sometimes, just to do the fun things. It's naive, I guess, in a way to say to myself, for me to want to just do the fun things, that I am going to still be expected to do the hard things as well. I set up a new account on Google today, MetaMelt. MetaMelt officially has an email address and a YouTube channel now. Gonna start making AI content as well. It's gonna be a whole trip. I can already see it. And I hope it's fun. I do. I really do. Oh, okay. I'm missing some comments. Shrumo again. Nice to have you, friend. I heard my name. Hi, Melty. Hi, other Connor. You're also a Connor, Shrumo? How about that, dude? I think we might have even said that, but I was tripping out about it for a second. Gateway! What a trip that you're here today, friend. I was thinking about you yesterday. I was thinking about the fact that you have now started, doing art, that you're no longer working the job that you used to work, the office job that you had. I was thinking about the blankets that you make. I was thinking about the way you show up for your love life. And I really, dove deep thinking about your energy yesterday, friend. It's nice to see you here today. How are you doing? Are you doing things for fun or to get it done? This question goes to all of you, friends. Jovi, Connor, nice to see you in yoga today, right? It was so cool to see Connor in yoga. If you meditate at the beginning of stream, I'm surely gonna pass back out. You see, that's the other thing I'm worried about, Jovi. That's the other thing I'm worried about. Like, from the perspective of a random person, not that YouTube is really, pushing my streams, but if it does, potentially, and some friend that has never seen us before chooses to click on my stream and he finds me, I wouldn't blame him if he's like, oh, hell nah. Whatever this is, nah. Right? Because he's me, or she's me, and I am very impatient, very distractible, very ADHD, in need of stimulation ceaselessly. So, yeah, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. How are we to balance all of these things? I also want to start, and I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying it until my ego, like, and I feel it's this weird paradox where my ego has been melted on these streams so many times over that, like, as soon as we sit down in the stream, my ego just kind of like takes a back seat where it's like, okay, we're doing this again. I'm gonna get decimated. Right? And then sometimes he figures out how to be coy, kind of like tries to wrangle the steering wheel back from me. Oh, it's such a trip. It really is such a trip. What is it like for you to be humanity, friend? You are humanity, right? I think there might be some more rain coming. Meta Melt is live. Officially, officially live. Yeah, you said we couldn't guess what you do weekly. So why don't you tell us? No, 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 no. I was more being like jokingly coy about I do the the journal entries daily, and you won't guess, but I do the weekly journal entries weekly. It's like being like, oh, thank you for giving me this useless information kind of vibe. MetaMelt is live. I'm looking forward to it. Good to be able to attend again. It was nice having you, friend. Although Zoom didn't want me to see what was going on or hear at some points. Was it a connectivity issue or something? I'm sorry to hear that, Connor. I felt your energy though, my friend. Uh, that's odd. You're having connection or bandwidth issues. I'm thinking the same. Connor's got to stick together over here. I don't even know why I first joined this stream, but I was immediately hooked. Did you find us on the Reddit side, Connor? Or did you find us on the YouTube side? I think you might have been one of the friends that found us on YouTube, right? What? I still think about that, right? What is the deciding factor? Why? Why would you be here? Why would you be here? I hope, for love. That's what I like to believe. Clearly you see something in me. The mirror I'm trying to show up as. During my shower today, I was having a conversation with myself, asking myself, why do this every day? And I almost attached it to living in a weird way. I was like, this to me is just a way of living. right? And living is a everyday kind of thing, right? Hey, friends, Sarah Key and Diva Love. Living is an everyday thing. I've been living every day my whole life, and now I'm just continuing. I'm not doing anything weird. It's a very normal, in fact, to me. Bring back. Actually, let me do this. Uh, let me see what I missed. I worry about stuff knowing that I need to not worry, to contemplate it in a way that harmonizes with a synchronistic, blessed outcome. But consistency. Oh, yes. Shrumo, that's the biggest thing. That really is the biggest thing, right? Consistency, I feel, was hard for me as well. And I know how to be consistent, at least to some extent. And unfortunately, if I if I have to do something new and I feel like I can't be as consistent with it, it's almost like I don't want to do it at all. It's like the whole fun thing, right? If we're gonna do something consistently, we have to actually love it. And that's why I encourage you, friends. It won't be hard. It won't be difficult for you to be consistent with it because it will be your truth. It will be your truth. Hopefully, it makes it easier. It's still not going to be easy, but it will be easier. Gateway saying, I'm in a very heavy place this week, and especially today. I've helped care for my grandmother in hospice at home for the past 2 years, and she's finally transitioning. Looks like today. Can't imagine how hard it must be. I'm sorry that we can't be there for you even more. But I would like to encourage all of us to just take a collective breath for gateway process. I know you don't like it, but names do have power. Julia. To think Julia. There's a Julia in this world with us who has been taking care of her dying grandmother. The difficulty that must come with that, the self reflection, right? That must be difficult as well. And then to come to a point where you feel like this is the final day. I could say so many things to try and make it easier, you know, to talk about how I believe it gets easier, transitioning. Maxine shared beautifully a Ram Dass quote as well that dying is like taking off an old and tight-fitting shoe. I'm sure grandma is going to be free. Thank you. Thank you, Gateway, for spending that time with her. I feel, if anything, that's what's most important. And even though she might be in her final days transitioning, she's not gone, right? You will live as her. Her DNA, her mitochondria, quite literally, right, are in you right now, living as you, metabolizing energy as you, continuing this process of the living. I'm proud of you, friend. I honor you. We love you. Thank you for being willing to share. It took more time to get the ice off my car than it would have to have to walk to work. Oh goodness. Happy to be here. Shan Sam Joy, Corey Tuner, Shrumo Goblin, Ryan and Natalie. Thank you for sending so much love. Jovan, sending it right back to you. Gateway, how beautiful that you're helping grandma transition. I hope it's peaceful. I hope so as well. I can't imagine how hard it must be. Dying, right? Just like to spend a moment with that thought as well. To be dying. And technically we all are, right? On some sort of level. We're dying since the day we're born. That living comes with the condition of dying. And that is what we accept when we come to live, at least in this way. One of my favorite quotes have been to consider these days is, if you can show me the beginning, I'll show you the end. If you can show me the end, I'll show you the beginning. Right? Sure, we can point to a day that is our birthday, but there was all of infinity before that. And sure, we can point to the day that we die, but there is all of infinity after that. There is no end, there is only transitions, transformations, change of perceptions, like handing the baton over of experience. I'm wondering when I'll die now. I hope it's a beautiful day. I kind of see myself looking over a mountain range. The sun is slowly setting. I have friends, family members around me. I get to tell them that it's going to be okay. This is fucking me up a little bit, yo. Woo! Whew. Still beautiful. Even dying can be beautiful. I don't know if you have read it, dear friend, but there's a book called The Five Invitations by Frank Ostaseski. I believe one of you friends suggested I read it, and I did on stream. And it very much was this reflection on dying. The person writing the book was a hospice caretaker for decades. He made it his job to help people transition from this life. And more often than not, he shared how he saw all of the fractals, all of the different layers of fighting, of denial, of anger and resentment, of regret. I feel like this is so apt with today's stream topic as well, right? That we're living for fun. You right now are here, the living, to have fun, not to get it done, right? We're not here to get living over with. We're here because it's fun. Look around yourself, see something ordinary. A tree, a rock on the ground, a chair. I want to say a screen, but that's not even remotely ordinary. Your doggy. There's some nice wind happening. It's kind of cooling down. I'm really grateful for it as well. Lois and Crystal is here too, sending you friends love. Thank you for joining me. I never put you on the hero list, Melt. But I assume it's applied, of course. Like, and weirdly enough, Jovan, I've been melted to the point where when you're greeting other people, technically you're also greeting me, right? Technically. Technically. Facts, Connor. Connor's saying, what did Connor say? Did I miss what Connor said? Connor's got to stick together. I don't even know why I first joined the stream, but I was hooked immediately. Thank you again, friend. Crystal's here. Where do you get your internet, Corey? Old AOL access text. That's a. Are you trying to throw shades? Bless you, Gateway. You're a beautiful person. I'm sure she's grateful for being with her through it. I'm sure as well. Crystal, the way your name is spelled is my favorite. I kind of like it as well, actually. We use K's instead of C's here in South Africa, so it looks right to me. Good morning again, Lois. It's nice having you here, friend. Shower thoughts, all of them. Joy Vive, what if I told you that shower thoughts and stoner thoughts are the same thing? Well, my shower thoughts are cold, right? Like I didn't have my shower thoughts from this perspective of like a calming my consciousness and opening up and being like, ah. This is so nice. It's more like, and then my mind goes, I'm like, whoa, 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 relax, breathe, calm down. It's just some water, dude. It's just some water. Okay. I first joined on Reddit for a couple of months until Reddit decided to cuck you. YouTube is better anyway. It is technically better, right? I miss the energy that Reddit had. Reddit wasn't about clout, and there was like a post about it as well where someone kind of echoed that sentiment. Reddit wasn't about, becoming popular or gaining a massive following or, like we weren't even monetized, for example. It wasn't about money. It was just about people coming together to have conversations. And I feel that is exactly why I was drawn to it in the first place. If Reddit didn't exist, I might have never started streaming. How about that? Right. So thank you, Reddit. Is Joel here too? Love you, Brother Bear. It's nice having you here. Sending you good vibes, dude. There are competitions to offer. Competitors to offer. Sending you love. Goblin, I said gateway process multiple times yesterday, and you were on my mind. Sending you love, friend. I'm not surprised, actually. Of course, you were synchronizing with that as well. So if I pay like 200 a month, I can have great internet. Like gig USC, gigabit down, 100 megs up. But for 70, I can get 110 with unlimited over fiber optic. I mean, if you have 110, your internet is 4 times faster than ours is right now. But we have 25, 25. Fortunately, we got a business line, but it's about no, it's a little bit more than $70 as well. Interwebs, yeah. Gateway. I had a similar experience with Grandpa in August. Just breathe through it, sister. This moment is an inevitability for all of us. Sending love and warmth. Thank you, Brother Joe. It's nice having you here too. Thank you for sending love, dear friend. I just heard that a whole blunt is equal to 6 joints health wise, and I used to dome those daily. No wonder I have a stoner cough. Just take a break, dude. Your body really likes to heal itself, and it will. If you take a break from the things that could potentially cause you harm, your body will recover. Like I'm actually kind of flabbergasted with that sometimes. The amount of stress we put ourselves under, and yet we get stronger. On that note, my foot is hurting again today because I ate leftover like fried chicken, and it's like mostly chicken, right? So I was like, oh, this is protein, and it has to be consumed. So I ate it with a bunch of salad. And then, literally maybe an hour and a half later, my foot starts hurting. And I'm like, bruh, I'm not doing that again. So I've noticed in my physical body how if I eat food that doesn't serve me, my body lets me know. And if I start eating food that does serve me again, my body also lets me know. It's like, yeah, good job. Thank you, Shroomer, for being back with us, friend. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My heart goes out to you. We all are slowly decaying, yet we can create things that will last longer than ourselves. The point of it is to leave a mark, a legacy, something for the ones who loved us to be reminded of you. Even though a part of me wants to agree with what you just said, beloved friend, I don't know if that's true, right? Because ultimately, right, the inevitable heat death of the universe, to kind of go to the more nihilistic perspective of our world, nothing will be, what's your exact words? Nothing will be legacy, right? Nothing will be reminded of. I believe, honestly, that all experience exists within the same now. right? So your whole life has been lived right now. And the thing that you are is the thing that peers into the right now. But you're peering into the right now as a self, as a body. And your body ages. You experience time linearly as a result of that, right? Like our DNA literally codes for time. Like there are microorganisms that would switch on certain gene expressions during night because they could replicate without getting UV blasted and having their DNA destroyed. So we figured out how to evolve based on the cyclical cycle of time that we find ourselves in. But the thing that we are, the pure awareness, the consciousness, is peering from beyond time and space, right? Time as you're experiencing it right now, and space that you are occupying as a body, looking out at it. So I believe instead of thinking of your life as something to be left behind as legacy, see your life as always being lived in the same moment, right? And that all of the moments you've shared in love remains. So in my personal opinion, and I'm not trying to make your opinion wrong, of course, my friend, is that we should try and maximize the amount of current moments we spend in love instead of in fear. Because dying will potentially be tainted by some fear, right? Some worry, some uncertainty, some doubt. So the only thing that we can really kind of hold on to is how much of our life was spent in love or fear. And then to remind ourselves that we're doing better than we know right now. Right now in this moment, I'm watching a tick. Pippi, come here. Pippi, Iso. Pippi, can you come here quickly? You have a tick climbing onto you. Pippi, come here, sweetie girl. There you go. Got it. Mm-hmm. So ye, live for love in this moment, because this moment is all there is. And this moment and all it is will always be into infinity. So be lovingly. That's the gist of it, at least in my mind. Headed to meditation session. Shrumo, love you, friend. Sorry, Melty, death ain't that romantic. Joy Vive, it is what you believe, after all. I've contemplated my death multiple times over, and I think it was a mushroom trip in 2021, end of 2021. We did this for a year, and during New Year's, I was like really contemplating, thinking to myself, what the hell are you doing? Oh, what is it you're actually doing right now? And I felt that energy, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to embrace whatever comes, whatever I'm supposed to learn, whatever I'm supposed to notice, I'm going to show up for it. And I took the 4.44 grams of mushrooms, and I spent the start of it kind of like tripping out, you know, reintegrating into a new way of being, because the version of you think you are literally melts. It's like, oh goodness, who am I? What am I? What have I been experiencing this whole time? How am I experiencing it? Why am I experiencing it in this way and not in the way I have been experiencing it the whole time? The story the ego told itself about what human experience is now suddenly isn't. I was like, I need to survive, right? So I just lay in my bed with my eyes closed, and I was going through these depths of psychedelic fractals, almost getting churned, right? Like imagining myself in a psychedelic washing machine, having my brain washed. And then I found myself kind of asking a question. I stopped the psychedelic wash and I asked, what am I doing? Or am I doing what's right? Or something like that. Or will I be successful? I remember it was some sort of kind of like silly question, right? Silly to the infinity, at least. And it showed me a version of my life from that very moment, laying on the bed, continuing forward, right? Showing up in the way that I did at that point, where it was just the streams. I wasn't making arches yet. I wasn't doing yoga. I didn't have any plans, you know, as I do right now for the future of this space or what it is we would like to do. We were just doing the streams. And it showed me my life doing just that, doing these streams, staying on the farm, not having anything, not having the abundance I think, you know, I am capable of, not having the freedom to see the world, not having the luxury of meeting new friends in person, etc., etc., etc. I was just stuck on the farm for my whole life. And, you know, 50, 100 years passed, and I saw myself on my deathbed, and I was still surrounded by loved ones, right? In that moment, I was surrounded by loved ones. And then I died. And I felt a sense of calm in watching myself die. I was like, huh, you know, maybe that's okay. Not succeeding in the way my egoic mind would like to, and still dying. And then as soon as I felt myself accepting that, I'm getting, it was like the curtains closed and they opened back up again. And I was myself again in that moment. And it started all over, projecting into the future. And it showed me a different fractal put on the ocean that shield our planet from excessive, you know, sun rays, that was completely circular economies, you know, self-sustaining, completely focused on the good of humanity. I saw myself doing things I didn't even know possible, making things that are unfathomable, experiencing ways of being that was almost picturesque, movie-like. And then it showed me myself on my deathbed, having done all of those things, surrounded by loved ones. And then I died. And it was like the infinity, the way I'm articulating it to myself these days, Mama Gaia, right? The feminine aspect of this reality was like sitting with me, asking me, so, what did you learn? We showed you two different lives that you can lead. What did you learn? And I said to myself that it's not about what I do, but about the people, right? Because for both circumstances, dying, I was loved. I was surrounded by people that care about me. And as I acknowledged that to myself, that the only thing that's important isn't how wealthy I get or how much I succeed in, but the love I get to share with people. I stood up. I got up from my bed and I walked over to the computer, not the computer, the like TV room where my parents were watching movies for New Year's. And I sat down with them and I told them I love them. And I asked my dad if he appreciates my energy, if he wants me to leave. And he echoed his sentiment that that's not what he wants. And then I said, thank you. And then we just watched movies, like some straight up brain damage movies, like seriously brain damage movies. But there was this deep understanding within me that I can have deep experiences, tripping out, right? And tripping out means something differently for all of us. You can spend time with yourself completely sober, walking from blade of grass to blade of grass, stripping yourself out if you want to, and there can be depth and beauty in that experience. But I felt that the reason I'm here is for one another, right? I'm here to spend time with loved ones. And that's what we're showing up for. I love you, friend, so much. I, I cannot I cannot share enough. Death is romantic to me. Joy vive. It very much is. Because I'm okay with it. I look forward to it, in fact. Knowing that no matter how I die, I would have lived a good life. Because I got to meet you, right? And I don't even have to know you in order to meet you in this moment, because here you are, meeting me, having an experience right now. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. Oh, goodness. Okay. Breathing. Yes. Being present. Good morning, Melmore. Again, love to you, friend. It's nice having you. It's like the Alan Watts quote, life is like good music. You don't just want the bombastic ending. You aren't there for the end. You were there to enjoy the ride. Exactly. That if music was about getting to the finish line, it would just be bang, bang, and that would be the best music you could ever hear. But nah, it's Bippy is looking deeply into my soul. Brother Duck Dad, it's nice having you here too, friend. Howdy from the ice-covered Northeast Texas. How about that? There's ice in Texas. Thanks to every one of you. This week has been very traumatic, dealing with a body shutting down, but it's all love. It really is, right? Because you would not be having the not for love. You would not exist if your grandma didn't love. Your mother would not exist if your grandma didn't love. You would not be spending the moments you are with her if you did not love. You would not be feeling the pain you're feeling if you did not love. Right? It's like layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of love. I love you, Gateway. Thank you for being so strong, friend. Duck Dead, no you. I misread it so much. Streams were a blast. It tripped me out being able to talk to hundreds of thousands of people from all corners of the globe. And it was like easy, dude. You could click on a username and send a person a direct message, if you wanted to. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow for that right now. Technical difficulties with Zoom. Missed the meeting. Well, here you are. Here you are, Shrumo. I'm happy to have you still, friend. Lausanne, same for me. With Arpan, a lot of awesome people that I got to see daily just kind of vanished. It was awesome while it lasted. Now we're getting into the goods, literally. Showing for the same thing, but differently. Oh, and there was an amazing, super funky bass player. I remember him. He just started on Arpan as well. He had like this real, visceral, giddy, almost like jester-like energy to him. And I saw the fractal where he would have gained massive notoriety and popularity if Arpan continued. And I think he was doing it for like less than a month, and then they canned Arpan. And I could feel his heartbreak as well with that platform going away. Was also one of my favorite streamers. I just love the style so much. So I reached out and asked if he would play a track on my album that I was working on. That's sicketh. Did he? And he said yes. Yes, he did. That's so cool. I believe he's foreign, right? That's the closest I know to what language is. I don't know what language he's speaking, but I do believe he's foreign. I knew you were going to say that. I do believe that everything will be nothing again. Yet the human experience is very personal. Death is dramatic, and I just want to ease those I love into mine. I know, Connor. That's why I preface that I'm not trying to make you wrong I'm not saying what you believe is wrong. I I'm just sharing, my perspective as well. Fortunately, we get to do that in this space. We get to differ and still. If you're wondering what I'm doing with my leg, I'm giving. Let me show you. I'm giving pets to Pippi. No, 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 no. Maximize the moments we spend in love and minimize the moments spent in fear. Yes, Duck Dad. Thank you for writing down that quote, friend. I honestly believe that it really is the only way to be successful in this life. There is no other success than how much did you love? How much did you love? More or less, right? And that's going to be the momentum you go into infinity with. Hell yeah, Louis. Lois, I feel that story so hard. Whistleface ended up helping me set my streams up just because he wanted to help. The kindness and openness was incredible. I think Reddit is going to see the fact that they canned Arpan as one of their biggest mistakes in the future. Because live streaming is going to be, I believe, the big draw on the internet in the future. I do think so, right? Because things are going to be so weird with like AI, and like there's going to be a lot of generated content. I am going to be AI generating content. That's going to happen, right? So these interactions where we actually get to be people with one another is going to be the last remnants of actual, personal energy that we get to share with one another. And we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Arpan will come back. Maybe Arpan will come back before we even know it. Ham and egg burritos for breakfast. That sounds amazing, Joe Schmo. I had some biltong and fried chicken salad. I do feel the sentiment that the present is the only truth. And my point about the legacy is that the things you create can take a life of their own, even when you're gone. Creation is now. I do agree with that. And I felt like a little bit of a hypocrite kind of giving my answer to you as well, Connor, because I trip out about wanting to leave a legacy, right? I trip out about it in the aspect of like Rome, right? These or the pyramids, for example, building something that actually stands the test of time, right? That thousands of years after I'm dead, there will still be this presence of the energy that I chose to bring into the world. And from an egoic perspective, I would absolutely love that. But from the highest self perspective, I realize that even if I don't achieve that, I am still going to get to live a full life, right? I'm not going to be lacking just because I'm not, deified, or just because I'm not immortalized in some sort of, waveform. It's a it's a trip, dude. Melting, ceaselessly melting. Saynas here too. I'm gonna read your comment in a bit, friend. That's a flippin' awesome, Lois. Right? Like Lozana, doing the networking things, reaching out to people. Duck Dad coming with an honest question saying, does anyone else fail to care at all about having a legacy or being remembered? It honestly interests me zero. Everyone talks about it like it's important. Am I broken? No, Duck Dad. I feel you're present, right? Because there is nothing outside of this. Why do you need a legacy when there's so much? Like, just even if, like, and this is the thing that trips me out, even if I succeed in every single metric in my mind, right? I become so powerful that as I think things become materialized. I don't think I'd be able to make things as beautiful as just this tree standing next to me. Right? And this tree has been here before I was. This tree is older than me. So this tree has legacy in my mind. I have a bunch of pods from this tree that I want to cast in resin and sell eventually, Because of that, because of the amount of divinity that there is in nature, that all I can do is facilitate sharing the beauty that nature has already created. And that's you. It's my body, that is this experience we're a part of. I didn't invent the language I'm speaking right now. I didn't choose to look the way I do, right? My DNA expressed in this way, and now I happen to be myself. Can I take any what's the word? Credit at all. I am a human. I am a human being. A child of earth. Papaya for breakfast. Here. Got that shiny fruit. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that makes me happy, Jovan. Enjoy that papaya. Fresh mangoes and burritos for breakfast. These are the moments in life that make me smile and remind me to be grateful. Please do. Please, please do. Lois saying, Joe, if you want to hear the song, it's Magnetic Symphony from the album Raised Maple. My artist name is Leaf and Kindred. All the songs are on YouTube and they're on Bandcamp as well if you would like to purchase them. Love you, Lois. Thank you, friend. Siobhan, listen to Papaya by the band Baby Metal for extra papaya action. I found out about Baby Metal when I was like a 14-year-old by a current friend's brother, which I weirdly enough thought about yesterday. Like, this friend no longer is in my life. He's not dead. We just chose to participate in different fractals. And his brother was into Baby Metal. And he shared this with us. Like, he showed us this music video. And I had this deep moment of, what the hell? What the fuck is happening right now? I don't know if they're babies anymore at this point. Probably not. Ooh, are you okay, Peppy? Your shroom trip sounds like hard work. I did an eighth of shrooms this weekend and was just really high. That sounds nice. Like, unfortunately, my trips tend to be work, right? I don't take psychedelics. Well, I don't know if that's a lie. Let me reflect. Nope. I don't take psychedelics because it's fun. I take psychedelics because I need to reflect, right? It's almost like I am really good at being an ego, right? And my ego can really convince itself of a certain narrative of like, yeah, yeah, I know what's going on. And then I have to be like, actually, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. And you're gonna die. Be okay with that. Doing the work, Jovan, little by little. No, not Jovan, Joy Vive, little by little. I'll definitely check it out. Thank you. Duck, I could care less about a legacy or being remembered. You're not broken. Not everyone cares about being known or important. There we go. Duck, I don't think that makes you broken. We are all different. Beautifully so. It's not the fact that you will be remembered, it's the fact that you continue your life through these creations that you left for your loved ones. It is another piece of you that they can hold on to. I mean, if that is your purpose, right, then you probably want to have kids as well, huh, Connor? I've had this conversation with Christian a fair bit of times where he wants kids partially for that reason. Because then on a physical, genetic level, you literally live as DNA into infinity, or at least for as long as your fractal, your DNA continues to procreate. It's a whole trip in itself. I don't trip anymore. It just doesn't do for me what it used to. But once upon a time, it was quite helpful with expansion. Your message came through at 444, interestingly enough, Joshmo. I feel, like Terence McKenna has a beautiful line on that goes, when you receive the message, hang up the phone. And I do agree with that sentiment, but I am, like all humans, quick to forget. I forget so quickly. And it helps to kind of remind myself every now and then. DMT is one of those things, right? Where I'll be willing to take some mushrooms or LSD, but DMT, that one is a little bit much, dude. That one is almost too real. Like, there's a little bit of getting too melted with that experience. So I feel myself not going close to that one again, at least for a few years. I told myself that I'll do it again when I am 33, maybe 34. Maybe just to like check in, to remind myself, oh yeah, infinity, and my own ignorance within that. Oh yeah, I'm stupid. They don't need it yet. I still have things from my family members gave me who are gone now, and it gives me a reminder every time I look at it. Beautifully so. It's just nice. Big love. Love is true. I just realized I spent 30 days in a row with you people. Time flies when you are filling your mental and emotional cup, right? We're already done with the first month of the year. Isn't that wild? We're already done with January. Like that's it's a little bit trippy actually. Sentimental objects have a very healing effect. Old photos and trinkets have the ability to bring the feelings back to your heart. They can be very helpful during the grieving process. Holding on to a piece of the person, right? And it's a piece of them because their energy is in it. Like I'm wearing dad's ring today. And my dad, fortunately, is still very much alive. But I am wearing his wedding ring because he keeps losing it. So he leaves it in his closet. And I saw it today and I was like, this ring wants to be worn. You want to see what it looks like? It is gold, kind of like wrapped around itself. The silver piece is platinum, and then the other piece is gold as well. And the way my dad made this ring, or the instructions he gave, is to make him in this ring rough. You can see it as like a texture. My mom smooth, and then this is in his religion, the Trinity that he believes in. I'll probably have to give it back, but for now, I'm gonna rock it. I really like the energy. I was listening to this Sadhguru talk where he was talking about wearing rings, and he was kind of warning against it, telling people that when you wear rings, because metals are more conductive than the human body, you conduct universal energy, right? That is attached to those metals, and then it creates like an energetic loop around your hand, and you're like interfacing with that energy. So, bunch of different metals in my hand right now. It seems romantic in the abstract, but having felt my body shutting down, throwing up blood and pus, lung collapse, gasping for air, body going septic from affection, didn't feel very romantic. And that was just one of the times I almost died. I got a few lives left, Shan. Keep living, Joy Vive, please. That must have been scary. Can't even imagine. I get what you're saying, Joy Vive. I do. I'm not saying it won't be painful. I'm in pain right now, right? Like, and I've like my foot has been in pain for a while, and it's very uncomfortable, right? And it causes me like I sometimes lay down when I like wake up, for example, and I feel like this wave of energy, whomp, pain, whomp, pain, whomp, pain, and I'm like, huh, I can feel. And then I get up and I show up for love, right? Pain, life is suffering within the Buddhist understanding, right? You're going to potentially suffer because you've embodied, right? You have pain receptors. So you can literally, because of your physical embodiment, suffer. But that doesn't mean your life has to be suffering, right? You can still, show up lovingly even through the suffering. uh, hey, beautiful friends, Sena and Melty. I'm homesick and just ordered some Taco Bell and I'm ready to take a nap. Please do rest up, friend. I hope you get better soon. It's crazy how once we get through a trauma, we somehow normalize it as a coping mechanism. Like I got bit by a dog and had to get 3 sets of stitches to close it up. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that happened. This isn't with everything or everyone. More traumatic events would be harder to do that with. A certain level of trauma is just absorbed and acknowledged. It melts into your experience, right? It informs you. Like, and I know this is not even remotely the same, but my PC dying, it's still dead. It's still dead. I've tried to fix it, in the meanwhile as well. And there is like this somberness to me seeing this dead PC, and I'm like, huh, it is. And I can hate myself, I can hate the world, I can hate the thing for breaking, I can hate the people that sold me the parts that eventually broke, I can hate the companies that made parts that would break, or I can accept that my ability to feel all of those things comes from the truth that I am loving. I loved that piece of technology, it served me well, and losing it hurts because of the sentiment I have attached to it, right? So I completely agree, Corey. It must have been scary. So much love is being shared. Meta Melt Magic Watch. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Meta Melt, dude. That's gonna be a trip. Oh, it's gonna be a trip. Joy Vive shared yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think so. In the Discord that you can't replace me yet. And I was like, what the fuck, Joy Vive? What do you mean yet? What do you mean yet? And then I was like, wait a second. Am am I not making a Meta Melt? You can't replace me. At least not this physical body. I hope not. I'm just imagining Meta Melt eventually having a robotic body and being like, oh wait, oh, now me. Now I am bodying. My turn to body. I really don't want anyone to hurt. Laughter is a weird way to handle trauma. I agree. I really agree, Jovan. You're doing well. Maybe this is effed up. I'm sorry if this is cursed or insensitive. I've always hoped my death would be kind of funny. What would be a funny death for you, Jovan? Like in this moment, I imagine you kind of like we're like, okay, so this is I don't know if this is morbid either, right? Imagining the death of one of my friends, but I imagine us kind of like developing some crazy tech over the next like 80 years, maybe like even figuring out how to use like wormholes and stuff like that. And then we travel to distant worlds, alien planets, and then we land on this gorgeous, picturesque, psychedelic purple flowers with, blue spots. I'm seeing them like thick leaves and everything. And then I see this butterfly-esque creature, right? Kind of like luring us deeper into the forest. And then Jovan, with her giddiness, kind of like, oh, look at this cute butterfly. And then the butterfly eats her. Comically, of course. It's like, is that funny? Getting eaten by a butterfly? Maybe it's funny to me because of the juxtaposition, right? Like the last thing you think would eat you in the world is a butterfly, and then a butterfly eats you. I feel like it would be funny and beautiful at the same time. If I was to be eaten by anything, I would want to be eaten by butterflies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jovan. I'm sorry if I was being a little bit brutal as well. I figured I'd take my chances. Baby Metal was a trip the first time I saw it. No, they are indeed adult, at least at this point, right? I'm with you, Jovan. I want the Eugaluzalizer, Eugalist to laugh when they talk about my dad. I don't even know what that word's supposed to mean, Corey. I would love to have kids. I think most people work like a little you if it wasn't as I think most people would like a little you if it wasn't as terrifying as it is, literally. Well, that happened when I get one as terrifying as me. Gavity Goose here too, saying that reminds me to pay my vehicle registration. Please do. Sucks that that is something that you're excited to do, but I'm happy that you can drive and that you have a car to register in the first place. Gavity Goo. Sending you love, dude. Exactly. I would hate to raise me, yet I still do it. Yeah, you're your own child, right? Ultimately. Like this body of yours is your pet. You have to walk it, you have to feed it, you have to brush its teeth and bathe it, you have to put it to sleep. Like literally, you are in a weird, twisted way your own pet. Dope ring dog. Thank you, Gab. Gab has been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Oh goodness. You went for it. I love that ring. Me too. Like ever since I saw it for the first time and my dad got it, I've been loving it and I've wanted it. And now I'm wearing it. And I know it's not mine, but I like wearing it. So I'm like, yeah. right? I'm gonna have like a whole sentimental thing. I'm gonna attach my ego to wearing it, and then I'm gonna have to take it off, and then I'm going to have to suffer my own choices again. I'm gonna be like, I need one too. And then I'm raising me now. It's a miracle my mother did smoother with me, didn't smother me with a pillow. Yeah. My mom jokingly says to people that she sent me to kindergarten for veilige bewaring is the Afrikaans word. Veilige bewaring, safekeeping, basically. Yeah. She sent me to kindergarten for safekeeping because she was losing her mind with me. You would you wouldn't guess, but I was crazier then than I am right now, and I didn't know how to be socialized. I still don't know if I'm socialized. I don't think I am. Am I socialized? Partially. Partially socialized. If my future husband left his wedding ring in the closet, you'd be fighting about it on the reg. Yeah, my mom, kind of understands. Like my dad has lost multiple rings, and this is, I think, one of his most expensive ones because it's actually real metals. And it's a nice one as well. It's fun getting the sass from Amara, knowing she's dealing, knowing she's dealing with the former sass master. It's like, oh yeah, you think you can sass? I've quite sass, and it's like almost like you're like getting payback, right, Shannon? Like you're literally paying your dues, having been sassy yourself as a child, watching the sass come through your child. And I know that's like the thing I'm terrified about. My child is gonna sass me to death probably. He's gonna be so much smarter than me as well. I think that's the most concerning part. He's gonna be like, Dad, you don't know shit, oh, you're stupid. And I'm gonna be like, oh, I know, I know. Oh, teach me, please. And then he's gonna get a big head, and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I can. I'm gonna teach my dad. I'm gonna be like, yeah, dude. And then I'm gonna try to teach him, and then he's gonna trip out. But he's like, wait a second, am I not supposed to be teaching you? Yes. Maybe we should teach one another. Maybe there will be a whole layer of growth in that as well. Oh goodness. I'm raising me now, my future, being fun. Jeez, sorry to hear that. That just means you can be a supportive parent to your child. Imagine if you gave your younger self all the knowledge you have now. I feel I would become extremely dangerous if I had all of the knowledge I have right now as a child. Like I don't know if that would be wise, of myself even, if I could do it even. Facts, dude. She will be unstoppable. Melt, you gotta go to the doctor for your foot. You could have a hairline fracture and could possibly be permanently damaging yourself. It doesn't I don't think it's a hairline fracture, right? And I've done some self-diagnosing using Google as well. Apparently, it's pretty common, right? Where if you eat foods that cause inflammation and then you experience discomfort in your foot, it's because of the inflammation, right? So I'm aware. And it's not it goes away, right? Like that's the thing for me as well. If it was a hairline fracture, the pain wouldn't subside because it would still be hairline fractured. So I'm paying attention and yeah. Yeah, yeah. That is the beauty of humanity. We get to pass down all of our experiences, knowledge, and fractals for the new generation. They get to build from what we have done, take their own path. This is the way. I like to think that way about the marathoners, but in a lot of ways, she's so the opposite of me. I try to give her knowledge I have, and she could care less, accepting her own person. It's the only way, right? My dad tried to do the same with me, and I feel like that's all we're all like ever trying to do, right? And it's almost like there is this built-in mechanism, and I believe like it's pretty proven in biology as well. Like when you enter your adolescence, you stop trusting your parents and you start seeking outside perspective, and it's like an evolutionary advantage to be that way. I hear you, Duck Dad. Fruit Cup is silent when she's up to no good. You get the it's too quiet sensation, and then she's on the kitchen table, standing on the edge, wiggling with something in her hand. I feel like that is a very universal thing as well, right? Like as soon as kids become super quiet, there's some weird shit happening somewhere. It's like, what are they doing? right? Usually there's like running and screaming and laughing, and now there's dead silence. They're up to something. They're trying to they're trying to go unnoticed. I want to leave this world the same way I came in, wet, naked, screaming, and an accident. Oh, Corey, if Duckling is silent, I know stuff is about to go down. You see more fractals. The fella in the shop are still trying to figure out how to get the voice right, but it's coming along nicely. I have no idea what that means, Joe, but I appreciate you sharing it nonetheless. That reminds me of the very old computer game. You have been eaten by a Gru. Also, right over my head. That's perfect, Shannon. Maybe she wants to learn on her own, which is good for kids. Like Mel said, shortcut knowledge has its downsides, yet, eventually, she'll be curious and ask about it again. You can just live as an example, ultimately, right? If she sees you living a life that is abundant, that is happy, that is showing up for the fractal that is your life, for the things you believe in, then she'll notice how there is a bunch of ways to do things, and the way you're doing things, at least within the infinite way of doing things, is more right than wrong, more loving than fearful, if you will, right? Unlike Octopus Tunes, there's no passing of knowledge from generations, and yet they're still insanely smart, sadly, only live a short time. They really do. I was surprised by that. Like, octopuses don't live that long. Melty, our moms would be a trip. Oh, yes. I feel like all of our moms probably would get along with one another. That's pretty much why we are on top of the food chain. Language, exactly. Must bounce. I'm being requested by my progeny. Game on. Love you, dear friend. Thank you for joining us for as long as you did. Melty, our moms must bounce. You always say your future son, Melty. You could only have girls, you know. This is true. This is true. I don't know why, but I doubted. I do doubt it, Joy V. Maybe that's exactly why I'll have daughters instead. Like there seems to be something in our DNA, die van Aswegen DNA. We get mostly boys throughout my entire family. Every single firstborn is a boy. Maybe I'll get schooled. I already have a name for my son as well. Could be a girl's name as well, I guess. Elkin. Elkin is what he or she will be called. Please don't. I could be a they if they wanted to be as well, right? Elkin. When I was 6 years old, I told my mom that I'll call my child that. And then when the internet became a thing, I Googled, and Elkin is already a word. I believe in Hebrew, Elkin means God created. And I was like, yeah, of course, that's the name I want for my child. Why am I not surprised? Oh, man. There we go. Just keep smoking that anti-inflammatory medicine. Yes. I actually took a little bit of antioxidants as well, and that really helped. So I'm feeling pretty good for that. Okay, yes, Tuner. She's 9 years old and knows everything. I'm hoping someday she'll take interest in the things I'm trying to tell her. But she must learn her own way. And she will. She will, Shan. Fortunately, we do learn on our own. You know, sometimes it takes us longer than other times, but it always is a worthy process. We just have to embrace the fact that all of us are going through the same thing at the same time, always in the same moment. We can share our own translation of information, but divinity is in the conclusion. Damn, that's a nice one, actually. Joy. It just be a fat bag of weed in different forms of meditation and yoga. If something is seriously wrong, it'll just refer you to someone else. It's true. And like if I was in so much pain that I couldn't step on my foot, I would also be concerned. But it's not like that. It's not like that. Weirdly enough, there's usually more pain when I'm laying down than when I'm standing on it. And like pain, it can also be seen as an information signaler that there is healing happening, right? So I don't see the pain again. And maybe that's why it's easy for me to be okay with the pain, is because I see it as a function of my body trying to be healthy, trying to heal itself, trying to love me, as a trip. Exactly. Sometimes I resent the fact that I wasn't allowed to be as independent as I would have liked. Independence is love. Trusting your child to go out of their own is something I couldn't imagine. But you can for your child one day at least, right? Like it is possible. Think about it like that, maybe. Is it possible? Yes. I feel I did get to have at least some freedom in my life. My parents kind of gave me a lot of leeway. And in a weird way, that was wrong or bad for me, right? Like I convinced myself that they didn't love me because they gave me so much space at one point in my life. And then, like the first day we went over to Christian's place the last time, I came to this conclusion that the way my family is kind of allows for infinite room to grow, right? And as soon as I started seeing it that way, it kind of like let me let go of a lot of the pain points I was holding on to. I just find it interesting Amara has taken such an interest in God recently. How about that? Good for her. Good for her, Shan. Like I feel the cool thing is that it's always going to be a flip-flop fractal, right? Let her believe what she wants to believe and find her truth within that, right? Like there's nothing that we can do to try and convince another person of our belief systems. We can only believe what we believe and see the fractal that we do, right? Show up for our own lives in that way. Oh, what is she thinking? That's interesting. We all take our own path when we get to the same place, exactly. What place are we trying to get to, Connors? Cause I feel like I'm on the road to nowhere most days. You're here for fun, right? We're not here to get done, like on that tip of like, the road doesn't go somewhere. The road should be fun, right? We shouldn't like, oh, when is this road gonna finish? When is it gonna finish? No, it'd be like, oh yeah, oh this road, look at the trees, oh look at the birds, look at the mountains, look at this river. And it should be fun. I do believe at least. Well, she seems to like it. She's been watching videos on YouTube of people talking about it. Last night, she was following a prayer. Good for her. Good for her. Maybe you should take her to church. Do. Well, that is interesting, certainly, but on the lookout for the Ostians and make sure she isn't consuming crap. Like, I obviously have a whole fractal of bias, but I know nothing. So I'm gonna let her go through her own process. I was forced to believe in Christianity, and that pushed me away from it, right? And she isn't forced to believe anything, so she's being drawn to believe something, right? And people like being told what to believe, unfortunately. We really do. I don't. I really don't. I viscerally despise being told what to believe, but I feel like that's probably because of, at least partially, my neurodivergent nature, where I feel like people don't understand the way that I see things. And then if they tell me to believe things, I don't see it in the way they're telling me to believe it. I just can't. And in fact, it makes me angry that they'd expect me to. I don't have a way to get her there, Joy V. This is true. My parents don't go anymore, so that's not an option anymore. At least the internet, brings it to you. There are a lot of pastors with pulpit these days. I don't know what that is. Not all of them are worth listening to. Your instinct, your spirit will help you suss the people out. I can see what she watches, Sam. When she asks me questions, I tell her it's up to her and what she thinks. I don't tell her something is one way or another. Good. One of my parents might be willing if they know of her interest. How about that? The symbolism and esoteric nature of religion is so interesting. Even now, the beauty of the words, creations, and faith really makes me want to believe. Yeah, I fortunately haven't had that fractal. I believe in love, right? My God is love. And technically, the God of the Bible is also love. But to create a fractal that I am outside of that love and I have to be deserving, worthy, conditionally, right? Showing up for something in order to receive that love is a logical fallacy to me. Because if I wasn't loved in this moment, I would drop dead, right? In the Christian way of seeing it, if God didn't breathe spirit into me, if God wasn't in me, literally, as spirit right now, I would fall like a sack on the ground. So there's nothing that I have to do to earn that divinity. There's nothing I have to do to earn that forgiveness. There's nothing I have to do to earn that love because it is my birthright. The fact that I exist at all means that I am loved, means that you are loved. And I refuse to believe anything that is less than. You're the coolest, Shymansky. I'm not a believer myself, but if she's interested, that's cool. Exactly. What holds you back, Connor? Maybe she'll change her mind when she finds out God says to listen to your parents. That's funny, actually. Like, she should, like, maybe she'll change her mind when she sees what, God says about women as well. The amount of misogyny, yo. Like, yeah. Anyway. It could be a good to express your viewpoint, yet still leave it open-ended. My dad did the same, yet he did push me into nihilist atheism. Yeah, that's probably less than ideal. Thanks, God. I don't know if it's my internet, but the stream is looking super crisp and colorful. I am happy to hear that, is the only thing I can say. Rabbit in 3D just sent me a message. Let's pull a card. That's Loisana, right? I think Loisana is Rabbit in 3D. Let's pull a card. Let's see what Sacred Geometry has to say today. I feel like we touched on some topic. And so, by the way, I don't find the Christian religion fun at all. Maybe like that's one of the reasons I don't want to believe in it either, right? Because it's kind of like dreary, like this reality that you're gonna burn in hell forever. Like, what loving God would send you to hell forever if you didn't want to be with him? And if he was that loving and you chosen not to be with him, why close the option, right? That just, oh yeah, you know what? We've shared this trip multiple times over, multiple times over. Doesn't help me to go back in it. I have been raised within Christianity, and it was painful. It still is to this moment. Like, the amount of baggage I have to undo in myself, the amount of trauma, the amount of self-guilt, the amount of self-hatred, the amount of I'm not good enough, the amount of I'm not deserving of love, the amount of seeing the world as evil, right? You're born into sin. One of the lines of the Bible, you are born into sin. So you're sinful when you're a baby, right? Even babies go to hell if they died like before a certain time. And I was like, what? What the? Yeah, I'm gonna put the point down. Oh, yo. Remember the mushroom trip story I shared? Remember the entity that I was saying was like literally spending time with me in that moment? And this is, in a weird way, the God I recognize in my life as well, right? And I share this over and over again. It's Mama Gaia, Divine Mother. Look at that. Divine Mother. Of course, this is the card I pull right now. Oh, this feels like a massive affirmation of like, thank you, Mama Gaia. Clouds, air to breathe. Ah, the sun shining, birds chirping, the grass underneath my feet, a puppy in the distance, trees having their leaves rustle by the wind. Divine Mother. One more time. Have we pulled this one before? I don't think so. At least not in a while. Look at that. The age of innocence was something I was brought up understanding. Yeah, anything not old enough or mentally fit enough to understand how things would get free pass. It feels like brain damage to me. Seriously, like I honestly believe that religion is brain damage. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I believe. It's nice seeing you. Don't touch that mouth. What? Don't tell me what to do. Instantly goes into being a rebel. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me just read some cards quickly. Some comments quickly. Have you tried the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? Exactly, Corey. I'd rather believe in that, dude. It makes more sense to me. I'm just saying that the art and architecture is amazing. The mindset that everything created should be a reflection of God is a hard contrast to modern, unhuman architecture of today. We believe the same thing, right, Connor? You don't have to believe. I honestly believe that all religion is trying to get at the same thing, right? Religion is when a bunch of people come together and agree on what God is. Spirituality, I believe the thing we're practicing is the pursuit of what God is. To not claim that we know and to tell you you're wrong because you don't believe the thing I believe, but to show up for this process of finding out. Also, you're gonna burn if you don't get dunked in the chlorine tank next to the pulp. Yes, exactly. Right? Like my dad, seriously, so I've had this conversation with him where he's like, "Oh, the reason you don't believe is because you haven't believed just yet," or something like that. And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was devout Christian. I was trying to convert other people. I was giving people Bibles in their native language when they told me they didn't have a Bible. Like I was that kid, right? When I was still believing. And then I went and he was like, "Nah, you weren't baptized again, right? So you never were saved," he says to me. I'm like, "What?" Anyway, okay. Oh, Maltese, love you again, friend. It's all in how you use the tools, you know. Exactly. Age of Innocence, Golden Ratio, maybe not so often. I agree, the rules are dumb, but the good sentiments are really good. For one, for the others, as they do unto others as they do unto you. Love is true. True is love. God is true. Love is God. Exactly. This I believe too. I might burn if I get dunked in holy water. One last time before I read you what this card means. Divine Mother. Divine Mother. Yo, when we brought Divine Mother into this space before she came, celebration and activation as the core meaning. Here, we celebrate the Divine Mother. She is the divine creatrix who abides in the heart of every being. She champions compassion and compels forgiveness. There we go, Shan. Today's yoga was literally about forgiveness. The script I was writing today for meditation is literally about forgiveness. Oh, goodness, the amount of affirmation that's happening in my brain right now. She is the divine creatrix who abides in the heart of every being. She champions compassion and compels forgiveness. Divine Mother is a vital, dynamic, and powerful reality honored by cultures around the planet named Gaia, Mama Gaia, Pachamama, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Isis, and the Green Tara, to name just a few. A modern day personification of this vitality is Indian born humanitarian Amachi. She is regarded by many to be an incarnation of Divine Mother and is often referred to as the hugging saint. She has spent most of the past 25 years celebrating life by hugging anyone who approaches her. This is like doubling down. We shared yesterday, right? This meditation I had with wanting to hug every single person in the world. And even if I could, right? Even if I spent no downtime hugging every person in the world for 5 seconds at a time, it would take me 400,000 years to hug the 8 billion people that are on the planet right now, right? And in 400,000 years, just imagine how many more humans will be. So it's impossible. Thank you, Hugging Saint, for trying. Choosing this card, celebrate the divine feminine aspect of God within you and asks you to activate your direct knowledge of the self as pure, luminous, all pervading non duality. You are not separate. You are one with the infinity. Yow! This remembrance set in motion the awareness that there is no separation, that you are an integral part of spirit. Like this is, I'm getting, okay. Take a few moments from your day to celebrate your recognition of oneness with spirit. Know that as you activate this awareness, you help bring about greater understanding that we as human beings are not separate, but rather interconnected and one with all of creation. Thank Divine Mother for the celebration of oneness. Come on. Like is that like is this really happening right now? Like this, like that was almost to the T, right? Like to the to the small little individualized leaves of the fractal of a tree that I was trying to share with this understanding as we were talking about this topic of, you know, believing in the old systems. Oh my, okay. Sending melty hot self. You're sending melty hot selfies, Lois. No. Oh goodness, that's funny. That looks like me from the back. And I was like thinking the exact same thing, Shan. I was like thinking the exact same thing, that you friends, every single one of you friends are the Divine Mother, right? And some of you are literally mothers. You know, even if you're a mother to Katos, or literally this Divine Mother energy. Okay. That looks like me from the back. Last weekend, I have crazy curly hair like you, but I straightened it last weekend because I was going to be traveling and it's just easier to look after. It's true. That's why I don't really look like myself in the photo I just sent you. It's okay. No, I sent a very unhot one. Imagine you were loving, that you were called the reincarnation of Mother Earth. Imagine you were so loving that you were called the reincarnation of Mother Earth. Beautiful. It's you, dude. As I see it, those who the Christians say are saved seem to have the same conditioning to me, where your divinity gets facilitated by a word. I see some serious roots of deception. Swoop, de boop. Way too early over here for all of these synchronicities. We're showing up, friends. We really are showing up, and then the universe is showing up with us in the same way. Sacred geometry ultimately is an aspect of this infinity, right? And we were talking about these things. We were literally talking about these things. And I was like, let's see what sacred geometry is going to say about this topic we're sharing right now. And then it's like snipering, you know, crosshairs exactly on the topic. Like we could have pulled any other card and it wouldn't have been remotely as synchronous as that one exactly just was. I wonder how they can imagine good Christian faith enclosed around soulfulness and heartfulness and mindfulness, proprietorship bias. For me, it's just the separation, dude. It really is just the separation that bothers me, right? As soon as we create the narrative that I am this and you are that, I am person in a world, I am a world in a solar system, I am solar system in a galaxy, I am galaxy in a universe, I am universe in the, like it's this externalization, right? And you can zoom out and you can kind of realize just how one you are, but it's always because of words, right? By the very nature of our words. And we can go into a whole trip that religion has bamboozled us into using words that are like double speak, right? If you want to understand more about that, go and read 1984. It's almost like we've been conditioned to believe ourselves to be separate. We grow up in this world convinced of our own separateness, right? Because we experience things from a point of separateness, from oneness, right? That you are a one. And then because you are a one, it can feel like you are the only one, right? It can feel like you are one of many instead of we are the same oneness at the end of the day. Those are shared experiences, not possessions. Shrumo, that is a topic I could talk your ear off all on. Maybe you should, Sam. Maybe, you know, hit him up. It's called sacred for a reason. You friends. You friends are the sacred geometry. Your body, a literal a literal expression of that divinity. Is it this? Really? Little paper thorn stuck into my hand for a second. Sorry for the loudness. I love you. New speak is double speak. Yeah, I know. At least we're trying. PK, sorry for missing you, friend. Love you, dude. It's nice having you here too. Thank you for joining me. What a stream. What a stream. Yo, that was a lot. That was a lot to take in. Thank you. Fractals of the Divine Mother we share, right? We are all children to Mama Gaia. We are one. We are not separate to this thing we call God, but we are not elevated above anything else as well. I feel like that is, unfortunately, again, with the words we are forced to use, it causes a sense of separation, an animosity, disdain for the things we believe, right? Because saying, I am that I am, right, can feel like you're seeing me say something about myself instead of saying that thing about you at the same time, right? So the fractal I've been practicing is you are God. Okay? And then a whole fractal opens up when you hear those words, right? And I'm going to say it again, and some of you might even leave in hearing it. You are God. Take it, but so is everything else. Right? It's a balance. You are God, but so is everything else. The insects, the trees around you, the very grass you're sitting on, the air you're breathing. It's also that same God energy. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. Here is the answer to your questions about Christianity and belief, says Sam. Silence is the language of God. Everything else is poor translation. There we go. Stillness. Be still and know I am. One of my favorite quotes as well, right? If you're going to do anything today, find 5 minutes, find 10 minutes. Be still and know I am. You are, dear friend, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Nobody can tell you otherwise, right? No religion, no way of believing. You are, for here you are right now. Silence is the language. Love all of you so much. I enjoy these mornings more than I can express with words. Express it with silence, Joe. Express it with breath. Express it with a smile on your face. Express it with feeling lovingly. Know that that's more than enough. I love you, friends, so much. So, so much. I cannot accept anything less than love. I'm sorry, right? If anybody tries to tell you that you are unworthy, that you are evil, that you are less than for not believing what they believe, and then that's not loving. Love yourself. Love yourself, because loving yourself is the only way to be complete, all right? That I can, in this moment, tell you, hey, friend, I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. All right? And you can feel that love I'm trying to share with you. And then a few moments pass. And then that love isn't gone. It's still in the same moment, but we can forget, right? We can lose the understanding. So realizing that the only way to have a complete sense of love in every single moment is to love yourself in that way. To remind yourself of the love that is true. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. If I wasn't loving, I wouldn't be here right now. If I wasn't loving, I would drop dead to the ground. If I wasn't loving, why anything at all? If I wasn't loving, why am I here right now? Thank you for being loving enough to be here with me. We might be done, but golly, was this a lot of fun. I appreciate you friends joining me. I love you. I give my kitty squeeze in all of your names. Please do. Joy V. Squeezing you. Love you, friends. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Cheers, cheers.